They call him Seatin, the man of legends.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome to a Rift Nightmare Tide guide. Today we're going to be talking about weekly quests, where to pick them up, and how to do them as quickly and as easily as possible. Now, there are 7 different weekly quests in Rift Nightmare Tide, which can all be found in Flargle Plaza, which is kind of just the northwest of Margle Palace, so it's kind of in this this region. Yeah, so there are 7 different ones. Now, the first one is called War Across the Seas, and this requires you to complete 4 zone events in Gabora Reef, Dromheim, and Tarkan Glacier. It's very, very easy to do. You know, you can just see zone events by looking at your map. You can also hop between all of the shards in your region. So, for example, you know, if no events are firing off on Zaviel, I might check on Typheria or Galidra, or basically any one of the other shards. So, by hopping between shards, you can really quickly and easily get that done. Just tag the events, tag the bosses, and boom, this one has a very nice reward of 2,500 Void Stones as well. And for those of you who haven't got to endgame yet, Void Stones are one of the most difficult currencies to cap and farm at the moment. Abyssal Crusaders marks are quite easy to cap, and Fragments of Horror are kind of like a side focus at the moment. But they're still very useful. As you know, it's going to take quite a long time for those to accrue up and actually get you some raid gear. But anyway, the next one is 5 by Sea, and this requires you to essentially complete 5 raid rifts. Now, there are 2 different raid rifts in the game, and let's just... oh yeah, there is also a daily quest to complete one of the 2 raid rifts that will reward 750 Void Stones, and you can, you know, complete raid rifts by buying the laws and then Frey, who is kind of this vendor just to the right of the quests. Currently, they are quite difficult, the raid rifts, and will require pretty much your full group to be expert geared, so they aren't quite being run at the moment, but literally we are probably about a week off from these being farmed on a daily basis by pugs. So, just as a bit of a preparation, you know, you have to do 5 raid rifts every week, and you can get a fat stack of Imperial Abyssal Crusaders marks and Fragments of Horror. So, yeah, it's pretty damn easy to farm. You can also just farm them all in one go. You know, you don't have to do the daily each day. You just say, you know, I want to farm them all in one go, and do that with your guild if you're not too interested in the Void Stones. But, you know, just due to the daily quest rewarding such a decent stack of Void Stones, it is probably very likely that it will be run on a daily basis by pug groups, so you're probably better off doing it over the course of a week, you know, to get maximum rewards for time invested. Then you have this next quest, which can be picked up at Ralph Willenflond. It is complete instant adventure times 30, and this one again rewards a very large stack of Void Stones. Definitely worth doing, and the easiest zone I've found for doing instant adventure. A lot of people are doing it in Gabora Reef. That is pretty pointless to me, because it doesn't really reward any rep, any extra Void Stones. I believe the instant adventure actually rewards a very small amount of Manugu League rep, but that rep is super easy to cap anyway. So literally what I'll do is I will literally just use like my Porticulum, or just any Porticulum, and then head over to Mephosia, go to Silverwood, and do the instant adventure there, because that one is the quickest and easiest one by far. There aren't too many like bottleneck instant adventures, and all the instant adventures there seem to take like literally 2 or 3 minutes. So for me, that is the fastest zone to do instant adventure in, and I'm pretty sure most of you will feel the same after, you know, doing instant adventure in that. So that is so far, you know, we've covered sort of 3 of the weekly quests. You have the other 4, which are over here by the PvP guys. Now, actually 2 of them at the moment, just for the moment, aren't accessible, but they will be within the upcoming weeks. But we won't talk about those yet. The 2 that are accessible are Guns for Hire. This essentially requires you to win war fronts, and you get a big stack of Abyssal Crusaders marks and 100 fragments of horror, so that's definitely worth picking up. And then you have Carnage Ascended, which requires you to essentially defeat 1,000 people. That may seem a bit overwhelming, but for most people that is about 10 to 20 war fronts, depending on, you know, how many kills are going on in each war front. So for a weekly quest, it's actually pretty easy to complete for most people, and once Conquest becomes active again, because currently it's disabled, that one will probably be a lot easier, providing, you know, the kills in Conquest count towards that 1,000 mark. And then you have the Conquest weekly quest, which aren't available at the moment to actually complete. You can pick them up, but as I said earlier, Conquest is currently not in the game, so yeah, you can't complete those at the moment, but you will be able to soon. So you pick those up and boom, they're eventually gonna, you know, add back in Conquest, hopefully with this week's hotfix. If not, hopefully in like a week or two time, and then you can get like just, you know, amazing rewards from that. So basically doing all the weekly quests is gonna give you base about 700 of the raid marks, the old fragments of horror, which, you know, are pretty damn good, and then you have about 3,500 Abyssal Crusaders marks. To be honest, Abyssal Crusaders marks are very, very easy to cap each week via sort of like random war fronts and dungeons and the Chronicle, so you don't really need to worry too much about them. It's really just the main point of the weekly quest, I think, for the raid marks, and also like the zone event ones, and also the instant adventure one are two very important ones, because those fragments of horror are the void stones, even the void stones are very, very difficult to get at the moment, so it's definitely worth prioritizing those two and making sure they're done each week, because you really do want to be, you know, trying to get in as many void stones as you can, because you need them for stuff like synergy crystals, your essences. If you haven't bought a collector's edition, you may want to farm for your earrings or your water attunement. So yeah, there are quite a few things that you need void stones for, so it's suggested to stockpile them. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the quick guide on the Nightmare Tide weekly quest. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll be doing a more in-depth currency guide tomorrow once the hotfix comes through, because they're doing a couple of changes to the way void stones are attained. They're kind of upping the rate a bit, so once I've kind of, you know, they push that, I've got my head around that, then I'll like do a guide on all the currencies and how to best farm them. But regardless of which, thank you for watching the video, take care, and have an absolutely great day, guys.